Greetings, YouTube. Tomorrow is November 2nd, the day when Americans get to vote. It's a midterm election, so this is going to be a big one. It's going to be a comment on Obama's administration and a reaction to how people are feeling about the world today. And I'm not going to try to be unbiased here, because I'm not. I'm a liberal progressive. I'm one step shy of a full-blown socialist. So I'm not going to endorse any conservative candidates. In fact, I'm going to try to convince you, the listener, that the conservatives are the reason that we're in the mess that we are in today. That conservative policies have destroyed the very foundations of democracy in our nation. They have undermined our civil liberties, our civil rights, our protections for our environment, our food, our worker safety, our economy, you name it, and the conservatives have had a negative impact on it, particularly on the lives of your average American. But they've been very, very good at a couple of things. One, presenting themselves as the people that are defending all of the things I just mentioned that they are trying to destroy, and supporting the richest Americans in our nation, the top 2%, the people that control the bulk of our economy. They're really good at doing whatever they have to support them. And they're really good at placing the entire argument into the laps of the American people with the idea that if you just try a little bit harder, you too will end up amongst that 2% elite. But here's the reality, folks. You aren't going to. If I can quote George Carlin, it's called the American dream because you can only believe it when you're asleep. You are not going to end up in the economic elite. You are not going to end up being uber wealthy. You were never likely to be affected by the tax increases that Obama would like to go into place, increasing them by a whopping 3% to 39%. Me, I wanted to return to the era of the Nixon administration when it was 70%. And that's not even as high as it ever was at the maximum. I can't remember which administration it was, but it was in the 94% bracket. So the fact that our richest citizens are only being taxed at 36% right now, and it's going to go up to a paltry 39%, should not be any reason for your average American to say, no, that's not fair. It is fair. They control the vast bulk of the economy. They should pay more taxes than anybody else. Because if they don't, those tax dollars have to come from somewhere. And they're going to come from you and me. And I don't want to pay them. I don't want to pay for the wars that the conservatives got us into. I don't want to pay for the debt that the conservatives got us into. The conservatives always say that the Democrats are all about tax and spend. But you know something, folks? That's how it's supposed to work. You tax people, you then spend the money on a federal level. That's how it functions. As opposed to the conservative position, which is borrow and spend. Specifically borrow from the Chinese and then spend. But do anything you have to make sure that the richest Americans don't get their money touched. So tomorrow when you go to the polls, remember this. Remember that the conservatives are the ones that got us into this mess. And the vast bulk of those conservatives are Republicans. Some are Blue Dog Democrats, some are the new Tea Party candidates. But the majority of them are Republicans. And at this point in time, you couldn't get me to vote Republican if you put a gun to my head. So please, go, vote. Let your voice be heard. Do not remain silent. And vote in the best interests of the American citizen, not in the financial elite.